Hey, a quick question. You wouldn't just walk out and punch an old lady in the face now, would you? You wouldn't look at a baby and then give a roundhouse kick to the baby's face. You wouldn't walk around the street with a Glock in your hands. You wouldn't take a trade which will bring down 30 to 40% of your portfolio. I mean, you can do all of these things, but that doesn't mean you should. Well, that's the context of this video. Unlike in real life, no one is going to police your account. It's only you. You can do a lot of things with your portfolio. It's your money. But if your goal is to see an organic growth in your portfolio, there are certain things which you can do. There are certain things which you feel like doing, but you shouldn't. Let's talk about it. In this example, we're going to talk about a $2,000 account, but it goes for any account regardless of the account size. If you're a new trader, first things you need to get in order is your expectations. If you're trading with a $2,000 account or anything under, setting an expectations to make $100 per day or $200 per day, it's not realistic. Why? Because that's almost 5 to 10% of your entire account. The amount of risk which you need to be taking to make this money is also ridiculously high. If the trade goes against you, you're gonna lose more than $100 in a matter of minutes. And losing 10%, 20, 30% in a day is not an excusable behavior if your goal is to grow your account down the road. This is how you put yourself in a position where you take 10 trades and win on 7 trades and only lose on 3, even with a 70% win rate. You're going back to square one or even negative in P&L. Win rate means absolutely nothing if you're still losing money. Bragging about win rate is an amateur behavior. A healthy portfolio cannot sustain this volatility in the long run because all it takes is 3 bad trades for you to blow up your account. So now, what is a realistic expectation? As a new trader, your goal should be breaking even in the first year. That's it. Because you're still learning about the markets, you're still trying to figure out what is what. Worst thing you can do is take massive risks around this time to lose hundreds of thousands of dollars. You don't have to lose that much to realize risk management is important. Position sizing is important. I mean, you don't have to walk into a burning building to know that you will get burnt to crisp. Have these rules and stick to it. Number 1, you shouldn't be risking more than 2 to 3% of your account in a single trade. Now, if you have a $2,000 account, maximum you can risk on a trade is $40 to $60. People often get confused when I say this and misunderstand this into thinking that they should only put in $40 to $60 in a trade. That's your initial investment. Let's say you buy something for $1,500. If that initial investment drops down to $40 to $60, from your entry, which is 2 to 3% of your entire account, you're out. The stops from your initial investment is what I meant. Let's talk about a hypothetical example. Let's say you see a stock trading at $10. You look at the charts and you see the stock is in an uptrend and everything is looking good and you see a higher low at $9 where you can set your stop loss at. With a $2,000 account, you can buy a maximum of 200 shares. But now, if you get stopped out as the stock drops $1 from your entry, you're gonna lose $200, which is almost 10% of a $2,000 account. Now, you can sit there and say, oh, I can afford to lose $200. Again, math doesn't care about how much you can afford to lose. That's still 10% of your account. Again, just because you can doesn't mean you should. Now, what's the right thing to do? So let's say instead of buying 200 shares, you buy 50 shares. Does the amount of money which you lose goes down alongside with it as well? Absolutely. If you notice something, we are not focusing on how much money we might potentially make. We are focusing on how much money we will lose if the trade goes against us. Now, if you buy 200 shares with a $1 stop, you're going to lose $200, which is 10% of your account. So now, calculate it. If I buy 50 shares and if I get stopped out, I will just lose $50 for the same stop, which is 2 to 3% of my entire account, and that's the risk which I'm willing to take. And yes, the money which I'll be making is less compared to that of me buying 200 shares, but again, if I get stopped out, that wouldn't take out like 10% of my entire portfolio. Now, when you position like this, number 1, you're not going to panic. You're going to stick to your plan regardless of what the market does. And this is where the road to profitability and consistency begins. It's not with the indicators which you use. It's not with the candlestick patterns which you use to analyze your price, which is going to make you profitable. It's the position sizing, position management, and risk management that's going to. Just because you can doesn't mean you should. It doesn't matter how much you can afford to lose. Stop looking at things from the eyes of what you can or can't afford to lose and start looking at things from the eyes of your portfolio. Markets doesn't care how much you can afford to lose. Your portfolio percentage doesn't care how much you can afford to lose. Size your positions properly. If you're new to the markets and are still learning, quit trading options like a degenerate crackhead and focus on trading shares. That's what's going to teach you about these position sizing. That's what's going to teach you about position management. That's what's going to teach you about risk management. If you can make money and grow your $2,000 account, you can trade accounts with any size. That being said, check out the Patreon. Link is down below in the description. Thank you so much for watching.